Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. Today, I've got such a great interview with you on how to build your email list through fun, interactive quizzes. Before we get into that, I want to buy you some coffee. We are about to hit our 300th episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast, and we're going to celebrate together. So I need your help so we can reach more people. And what that looks like is you taking 1 minute to go and leave a review of the show, and then coffee's going to be on me. So here's how you do it. Go to iTunes. Obviously, you're there. Click on this show and leave a review. Before you hit submit, take a screenshot of your review and email it to clientcare@rachelandgom.com. And then I'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card as a thank you. Your review is going to help us make a much bigger impact. We currently have 143 reviews, and our goal is to make it to 200 by the end of the month. So will you help us make that happen? Of course you will. So thank you in advance. All right. We are diving into our interview with Helen Munshi. Helen is an online business growth strategist and quiz funnel creator. She's just like an incredible human being. She's actually our lead coach within Activate. She runs property management businesses. She has her own online business, and she has a heart of gold. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about how you can create a quiz that's going to help you build your email list quickly and have a ton of fun doing it. So let's dive into today's episode. Helen, welcome back to the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm so excited you're here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be back. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So for people that have not listened to our first episode with you, let's just get like a little background on who you are, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am, I guess, what you call like a multi-passionate entrepreneur. So I've been running my own sort of property management and development business for probably about 6-7 years, which I love. It's all very creative and lots of spreadsheets, which works for me. And then I also have my strategy side where I do kind of quiz lead generation for entrepreneurs. So really like using the power of quizzes to get the word out and kind of stop being, I guess, the best kept secret on the internet. And I also have the privilege of being the lead coach within Activate, which I love. So I get to see you regularly and support all the clients in there as well.
Amazing. We love having you. You're the best. And you're brilliant at what you do. You do like all the things. So I'm excited today to jump in and talk about quizzes. So explain what a quiz is for people that don't understand why you would want a quiz and what purpose does it serve for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think quizzes have got kind of a slightly weird reputation in that people have like usually done them from like a young age, like the Cosmo quizzes and all these kind of things, like what Disney princess are you going to be, and the BuzzFeed quizzes. But actually, they are starting to be seen as a really powerful form of like lead generation within your business. So it's all about positive, like interactive marketing. So kind of forgetting the really kind of like static ebooks and those kind of like PDFs, which worked in the day, like back in the day. But now people, attention spans are shorter. People really want to get more of a sense of you and your personality before they even opt in. Like people are much more guarded around their email addresses. So a quiz is a fantastic way to kind of connect with your audience, infuse your personality, inspire them through the questions, and also it allows you to kind of segment your audience. So you can ask them questions so that before you've even met with them and talked with them, you know kind of where they're at in their journey or what kind of products they might be interested in, which just makes your marketing like so much more targeted and more powerful.
I love it. I love taking quizzes. I get targeted with them like all the time. And I always am like, ooh, I wonder what metabolism style do I have? Or like all these like random things. I'm like, ooh, I'm curious. Like we're all so curious about ourselves.
Yeah, that's so true. And it really plays into like human instinct of like, we really just want to understand more about who we are, what drives us, what we are interested in. And quizzes are brilliant for that.
Yeah. Can you give us some examples of quizzes that perform well?
Oh my goodness, so many. Like, what's your perfect jeans style? Like, are you like boyfriend style? Are you mom style? Like, what's your jean style? That's a great one. Skincare does really well. So like, what's your kind of skin type? Let's do a bit of a kind of diagnosis through questions. What kind of entrepreneur you are, what's your brand personality, what's your perfect wedding venue. Like there's literally any industry. I've seen them in kind of funeral kind of situations. Like you can use it in any environment, products, services, any kind of business.
I like it. Okay. What are some top tips for creating a quiz that builds connection and actually will lead to sales?
Yeah, good question. It is more involved than like your average kind of lead generation funnel, because you've got kind of different results pages and segmentations, all that kind of stuff. So the first tip I'd say is really like take your time, like look at it as a big part of kind of the overall customer journey within your business. So that's the first thing. Second kind of tip really is just, and it's the same with any kind of sort of lead magnet, is know where you're funneling them towards. I know we talk about this a lot within Activate as well. Like if you don't know where you're sending them, it's very hard to kind of take them on that journey so that they take the little steps to get them to that point. So like know kind of where your quiz fits in. And then really it's about keep it positive. Like people respond much better to like positive questions, positive answers. So rather than like, oh, you're just starting out in business, it's going to take you, forever to get to where you want to get to. It's about like, you're the visionary within your business. You are at that exciting startup stage. So like infuse it with positivity. And I think that's like a big kind of part of it. And for me, one of the reasons I love that is because if people opt in and they're doing it from a place of feeling empowered and positive and buy from you because of that, versus if they've sort of opted in out of kind of fear and kind of nervousness and they still buy, like it's the same result they're buying, but it's a very different energy, and it brings a different transformation through your products and services.
Got it. So I like the idea of starting with the end in mind. So example for my business, if I have like a Pinterest course, like Pin with Purpose, it probably wouldn't make sense for me to do a quiz on like, what's your body type?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Right. So what would be a good example of a quiz that would work well in my business?
Yeah, gosh, on the spot, creativity, love it.
I know, that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, Pinterest is obviously all about lead generation. So it's probably around like, what is like your natural voice? What's your most like natural way to kind of talk to your audience and kind of get leads? So you could, what's like your brand voice, your brand personality, could be something around that. If you decided, I want to use the quiz to segment into Pinterest to Activate, then it might be about like, what do you need most in your business right now? Is it leads? Is it accountability? Like, what's that kind of missing puzzle piece for your business?
Okay. As I'm thinking, I'm like, one could be what lead or what platform should your business be on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like Facebook versus Instagram versus Pinterest versus like Google. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a good one.
And then how should you monetize your business? Since we teach
so
that within Activate.
Yeah, so that could be another one. So yeah, are you supposed to be focusing on like courses, or like what's your next best sellout offer? Like something like that.
Yeah.
So I've seen like a few around that kind of topic which do really well.
Okay. So let's say I'm doing, for example, the what platform should your business be on quiz.
Mm-hmm.
We have them take the quiz. How many questions should there be?
Maximum 10.
Maximum 10 questions. And is there like a reason behind the question? When we're putting these questions together, what should we be thinking about?
Yeah, so not all 10. So if you do 10, it's like between 7 and 10, not all of them have to segment. So that's the first thing. Like you can have questions in there which are really like just an engagement one to kind of get them continuing to answer questions, so they can kind of be fun and a bit of a personality question. So that's the first thing. The second thing is really just to kind of make it interesting. So rather than like, if you had to choose between your scroll, if you had to choose between Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest for your own personal use, what would you choose? Ask a question that's more fun. I'll get same answers. It would be, you've got like, you're stuck in a queue for 10 minutes at the post office, like you whip out your phone, what's the first app you hit on? So it's exactly the same question, it's just asking it in a more fun way. So always try and think creatively about how you ask your questions.
Got it. Can we talk segmentation? this
Yeah.
might be the part where people's brains start to like explode.
Yeah.
So can we explain this in like the simplest way?
Yeah, so absolutely. Segmentation, which is a word I really struggle to say. So segmentation is basically like buckets. Think about it as like buckets or categories. So you've got a room full of, say, 100 of your clients. Like not all 100 of those clients are going to be in exactly the same place or need exactly the same kind of help from you. So all you're doing through segmentation or kind of categories is saying, okay, so this 25, they kind of sit in this bucket, and they're maybe like earlier in their journey in their business, for example. And then this 25 sit in this bucket, and they are, really keen on like evergreen content. And this 25 sit in this bucket. So basically, you're just kind of putting a bit of a tag, a bit of a kind of category around people within your audience, because not everyone's going to be exactly the same.
Okay. And so when you set up those tags, I'm assuming that's like within your email marketing of you tag them on the back end. So you have people on your list and then you have certain tags, and that way you can have a very direct message for each person who's on the tag.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you figured out your different buckets, you can then do some kind of tech stuff behind the scenes to then make sure they get kind of tagged with that bucket name. And then, you can, so you're launching your pin with purpose, and you've got a whole bucket that are just super interested in Pinterest right now, then you can send them the waitlist, send them the early bird so that you get them on board early on. Or if you've got a bucket that's perfect for Activate, then invite them to the next Activate event. So I mean, that's great. And there's also like continual market research, which is another reason why quizzes are brilliant, because like we know as entrepreneurs, you can't just do market research once. Like when you start your business, like it's continually evolving. So by answering all the questions, you can kind of see the answers. That gives you quite a lot of information as well, which is useful for your market research.
I love it. And if this is making people's heads spin and they're like, I hate tech and like all the things that go with it, can we outsource this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can get tech VAs. A lot of the quiz platform that I use, which is Interact, they've got a lot of it already built in the back end. So it's
say that again. What's the program?
It's called Interact.
Okay, Interact.
So really simple quiz program to use, not expensive at all. They do a lot of it in the back end, but you can get tech VAs who can sort this stuff out for you as well.
Okay, so Interact, do you know how much it costs?
So you can have free, the free one lets you set it all up. And then as soon as you start collecting leads, I think it starts at like $17 a month. So like not a lot.
Awesome. And they actually have pre-formatted quizzes in there, don't they?
They do, yeah. So they've got a whole lot of templates, which is amazing. So they've all kind of been set up so that they kind of convert really well. And then you just put your own kind of colors and fonts and your own questions and stuff in there.
So that makes it really easy.
Yes.
For people that are like, I don't want to do all that work.
Yeah, super easy. Yeah, really. And the kind of the big thing for you when you're creating a quiz is obviously you're just kind of coming up with the copy. That's the main thing. Like this kind of tech stuff and the loading it and all that thing, that can be handled by someone else.
Right.
And the big tip really around that is you build it backwards, which kind of throws people slightly. So you don't start with like, I'm going to write my questions. You start actually with like, what are my buckets? What are my results pages? And kind of work it back from there.
Got it. Okay. What are some common mistakes you see people making when they try to do their own quiz?
Yeah. So first off is just throwing it together without a real focus or purpose. So anything you do in your business should always kind of fit within like the overall vision, the overall kind of brand. So that would be the first thing. Second thing probably is kind of just throwing it together really quickly. It does take a bit longer. It is sort of an investment of your time to kind of get it working. But when you do, it is so scalable, which is brilliant. And then that's the third kind of mistake I see people making, is that they create a brilliant quiz, they do their results pages, and then their call to action is like, book a 1 hour free call with me or something. And you've got to have your call to action to be a scalable call to action.
Okay. What's an example of a good call to action?
So then it could be join your main social media. It might be if you've got, say, an offer under probably about $90, $100, you can put that on your results page as like a bit of a mini upsell type situation. So like a little course, like you're creating killer content would be a really nice kind of like mini upsell for that kind of thing. And then obviously they then get into your welcome sequence as well.
Okay. So you said 7 to 10 questions, and then how many potential results should we have?
Yeah, I'd say probably between 3 and 4, because then that allows you to be kind of specific enough that they don't feel like they're just being thrown in with everyone else, and that you kind of really understand them. Like there's enough of a kind of distinction between your results.
Right.
But it also, once you get above 4, you've then got like, it's just a lot more copy, a lot more work, really.
Right. Do you think it's worth it to have like a personalized video on each results page?
Yes, yeah, that's a lovely idea. Yeah, definitely. Any kind of time that you can get your face and your voice in front of people, I think is always good.
And when should you ask for that person's name and email? Before they take the quiz, after they take the quiz, before you show them the results, after you show them the results?
Yeah, so it would either be, I tend to say do it at the point when they've taken all the questions, but before you give them the results. So they're opting in at that point, and Interact lets you set up that way quite easily.
I love it. Any questions I missed on quizzes? I feel like we covered a lot of the big stuff.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's really the big thing is really just deciding this is something that you want to kind of really focus your attention on, and kind of really embracing that positivity and kind of the fun of it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. What does it mean to you to make an impact?
Yeah, for me, this is just a part of like kind of who I am, really, like in everything, like in business, personally, like it's huge. I'm really passionate about supporting like women, getting more money into the hands of women, because I feel like we then affect our families, our communities, the people around us. Like the ripple effect comes out from that. So if I can support women to become financially independent and financially secure, like for me, then that's the biggest impact that I can have, because then that impacts the next person and the next person and the next person.
I love that. Did you hear Toby snoring? Let's
Yeah,
give a shot at Toby.
Oh,
He's really loud. This is why Toby. Shh. This dog. Okay, what's one of the best books you've read?
Yeah, I'm a big, this already, I'm a massive like bookworm, just like you. I think probably my favorite is Tara Moore's Playing Big. Like for me, that had the biggest impact on like my mindset and my confidence, and kind of dealing with that kind of, she talks about like inner mentor, inner critic, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was a good book for me.
Yeah. And so where can we connect with you? And you actually design quizzes for people, correct?
I do, yeah, I do. So I do done for you quizzes, like the full kind of funnel. And I will be launching a quiz course later this year, beginning of next year, which I'm excited about. But yeah, so just on my website, which is helenmunshi.com, or through Instagram, same handle, Helen Munshi.
Amazing. Helen, I adore you. You're brilliant. You're like one of the sweetest humans on the planet. And I just love that we get to work together and you're making an impact. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.